From Anastasia, it's BBC Essex on a glorious Friday afternoon. A bit cold outside, we are expecting some showers later, but not too bad at all. In fact, it's the kind of day when maybe you're going to nip out to town and perhaps you're thinking about getting some books for the little ones. Well, I tell you what, children's books have changed an awful lot since the days of Enid Blyton and a couple of Ladybird books. Nowadays, these shelves are bursting with fantastic talent, and one of those is the wonderful R McNally, who's a couple of new books actually to talk about. The Harold Huxley's adventures continue. This time he's heading towards the mysterious island, and also we're talking about the Puffin pirates as well, both of which I read to my children last night, and I'm delighted to say that Emma is with me this afternoon, along with Sarah Wybrow from Waterstones in Chelmsford. How are you guys?
Really well, thank you very much.
So lovely to see you both, and I must say, you and I met, and it was really one of those major coincidences. I was out shopping with my little girl, and we popped into Waterstones, and you were there with the sock puppet and everything,
Absolutely.
weren't you?
The sock monster was
Sock
there,
monster.
absolutely.
And we had a good chat then as well. And it's lovely to see you today. Thank you for the books as well. We had a lovely time last night reading for them. We'll start off with the book, I suppose, really for the younger readers, which is the Puffin Pirates, which Ollie and I read last night, and Ollie's 5 and 6 in May. So for him it was perfect, because you use rhyming in this book, don't you?
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, I love rhyme anyway. I tend to think in rhyme, which is a bit bizarre, I know. but I think the children love them because they can almost anticipate what's coming next. And it really helps them when they're starting to learn to read.
It's so true, isn't it? And I mean, anybody that grew up with the likes of Julia Donaldson, for instance, who uses, the same techniques to a degree, doesn't she? There's a certain way and a certain flow with what people are reading. And there's another one which we loved when they were younger, which was A Squash and a Squeeze.
Yes.
And I know that one off by heart by now.
Absolutely. I think, books, yes, they're obviously for the children, but I think they're also for the adults.
Yeah. You make a good point there, actually, about when you're reading to your children in particular. It is nice to be able to enjoy it as much as they're doing.
Yes.
Because it's all, Biff and Chip are great and all the rest of them. And I know that these are all part of phonics and learning. Yeah. But boy, are they dull. Let's be perfectly honest. They are pretty dull, aren't they? I mean, what's the magic key all about? I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's just... I'm really sorry, but I had to get it out there.
Fair point.
Yeah. Oh, and the one with the cactus is pretty good, but other than that. Tell us a little bit about yourself, because you're always out about. In fact, you've been at the London Book Fair just recently.
Absolutely, I was at the London Book Fair this week. Yes, indeed. Yeah. No, it was brilliant. So I spend a lot of time with schools. So I go around to schools and help children in terms of creative writing. So I was at a school in Basildon just a couple of weeks back. We were working sort of creative writing, so we'd read part of my story, so up to chapter 3, say, and then stop, and then they write the rest. So, but they can write it, or they can do drama, or they can do pictures, or whatever they want to do to finish off that story, and it's just amazing. They absolutely light up. It's just the best thing. So so I do all sorts of events, obviously book signings and that sort of thing. I run a training company as well, so yeah, pretty busy. You
are busy all the time, and the Harold Huxley series just goes from strength to strength, doesn't it?
Yes, I think there's something about Harold. He's a venturing household, so he's cute and he's cuddly, and he's very ambitious. So he'll jump off and do an adventure, but hasn't really thought it through. So Lamb normally comes to the rescue. And actually, I was only at the London Book Fair, say, this week, and somebody turned to me and said, "Oh, that's a very house hog thing to say," and it just made me laugh, because obviously it's sort of that typical sort of gung ho kind of character. So,
I think everybody should have a house hog.
Yes, I think so.
Be great, because I love hedgehogs, and I also want to bring them in.
Yes.
Whenever we spot one, and I think, well, you're not supposed to.
You're not meant to, are you? No, and don't feed them milk.
All that stuff.
Really
Or cat food. You're not supposed to feed cat food, are you? Which I didn't realise. Oh, hello. Hello, Sarah.
Oops.
Maybe you are supposed to feed them cat food. Don't you worry. I'm not sure, but somebody will tell us, because we have a very knowledgeable audience. Can we feed, and we'll find this out for you, Sarah, can we feed hedgehogs cat food? They like a bit of tuna.
Yeah,
okay. I'm not sure.
Definitely not milk. We know definitely not milk.
No milk for hedgehogs. We'll talk more in just a second. My special guests this afternoon, R McNally and Susie Wybrow from Chelmsford from Waterstones. More to talk about. But first of all, let's get a quick update on the roads. BBC
Essex Travel.
And with the latest, here's Barry Lewis.
Thanks very much, Tony. And Harlow on Edinburgh Way, where the roadworks are. It's looking busy in both directions this afternoon. Bit of congestion on High Street at Brentwood, close to Wilson's Corner. There's some roadworks on that stretch at the moment. Seem to be just slowing you down a bit. Heading into and out of Southend, A127 is queuing at Kent Elms Corner. The cone's out there until around 3:30 this afternoon, just causing some delays in both directions. Otherwise, not looking too bad across the county on that main routes. Motorways are all looking okay. No reporting problems as far as the railways are concerned. Next update in 30 minutes.
Call 0330 123 3551. BBC Essex Travel. This is BBC Essex.
Southend have cleared their lines, comes to the exterior for Mansell, over the top for Montano! Dickinson got to go! And what a goal by Brendan Dickinson!
On Saturday,
Colchester face Crewe and Southend entertain Walsall. BBC Essex will have full match commentary of both games from kick-off to the final whistle. Max Dimitri, hands one in, Razor over the crossbar. Rear right hand side, first pass his man, pulls the ball back and into the net. Colchester versus Crewe and Southend entertain Walsall.
Saturday from 2. This is BBC Essex. Tony Fisher. This is BBC Essex.
R McNally, my special guest this afternoon, along with Sarah Wybrow from Chelmsford Waterstones. Sarah, it's lovely to see you today, by the way. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Now, the last time I mentioned that I saw Emma, it was at Waterstones in Chelmsford, and you really are a big supporter, aren't you, of local authors and certainly children's fiction as well.
Oh, definitely. I absolutely love children's books.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of a soft spot.
Yeah, because things have changed. When you go to a bookshop now, to the children's section, it's not just... it's not just shelves of books, is it? It's an activity area too.
Yeah, we try and do as many activities as possible as well. In Easter, we've actually got loads of activities planned, but a lot of kind of the games that we have are quite educational, but kind of without them knowing. But they a lot of them sit really nicely against the books, especially the education ones.
Yes. Yeah, because it's funny, isn't it? The word education, it also says that, well, that must be work then. The
No, you can make it fun.
Exactly. The moment it's fun, it's great, because everything, in a way, is educational, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Your books, are very much educational.
Yeah.
You're learning an awful lot, as you say, about syntax and the way that things are written, and also with your illustrations too, which we must talk about the illustrations. Because straight away, the first page, before we begin, we talk all about Harold Huxley in this book, and he's pretty much, as you'd imagine, a house hog to
Got
be.
a little bit of pink hair, but apart
Yes,
from that,
exactly. Yeah,
a little bit spiky pink.
This is for radio, isn't it? These little pink tufts.
Little pink tufts,
Where did the inspiration for Harold Huxley actually come from?
So this was years ago that we bought a doorstop, and it was a hedgehog doorstop, and he was very cute, and we called him Harold.
Right.
And it just was from there. It was like, oh, okay, so maybe he has adventures while we're not there, because you never know what happens when you're not looking. And that's where the whole idea came from, I guess, of that whole sort of adventuring household.
How do you go about with writing children's stories? There is a true art to this, and anybody who's tried to do it will know this straight away. It's not just as simple as it might seem to some. They might say, oh, well, it's only writing a children's book.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a knack to it. I think everybody that I know tackles it slightly differently. The way that I work, I first get the idea. So for these books, I was on the Isle of Skye, and we met these amazing, gorgeous little puffins. Notice I say met. We saw these amazing puffins.
But there you are, so you were straight into your mind.
Straight into my mind that they're my friends. And so these amazing, gorgeous puffins, they're called the clowns of the sea, because they're a little bit clumsy, and they just launch themselves into the water, and they make this amazing growling sound, which sounds like sounds like a chainsaw, to be honest. And I was like, oh, these are great. These guys could be pirates, with that growling sound, and then the idea forms, and then I sort of write what comes, but then edit a lot, and then go back, and then change the story, and there's so much more to it than just sitting writing and that's it. It just sort of develops, and I play with stories, so I'm working on my next one already, but I'm playing with it in my mind all the time, and making notes fonts and all of that sort of thing. So there is something about it's a bit of a technique there, I guess.
Do you get a chance to test it before you finish? So that have you got your own guinea pigs as well as households?
Yes. Yeah. So my husband is one of my first critics, and my mum.
Yeah.
My mum is much kinder. My husband is very honest. Let's put it
That's
that way.
very brave of him.
Yeah, but he's always right, and that's what I love, is because actually I will then, it makes the book better, and then I send it off to my editor, and she again comes up with some new ideas. So there is a testing process, and we get early copies that we send out to people before it goes to print. But yes, honesty I think is really important, because when you're writing, you're too close. Sometimes you can't see anything that's wrong with it, but when people point it out, oh yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? That they've got to kill your darlings, don't they? The ones that the ones that you love, and you think, I can't take this character out, or I can't move that. That's the whole point of the thing.
Yes.
Very difficult.
And there is a fine line, and we were talking about this at the London Book Fair, is that if you edit it too much and you lose the heart of the story, and you feel that it's no longer yours, then it's been edited too far. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But you need to be thinking about, is it still genuinely what I wanted to write and that I love? And that's one of the main things. You've got to write about what you love, because if you don't, it doesn't come through in the pages. You've really got to be passionate about what you're writing about.
And the wonderful thing about children's books is that for many of the children that are reading it, they haven't reached that age of skepticism yet. So anything's possible. Everything's possible in the world. They don't question too much.
Yeah.
Which is a great, as an author, that must be quite freeing for you as well.
It absolutely is. And there's always at the back of your mind, you have to be a little bit careful that you don't make it too scary or too over the top, because of the age group that we're working for.
Yeah.
I need to be a little bit conscious of that. But anything is possible. If sock monsters want to eat socks, well, why not? You know, if puffins want to be pirates, well, yeah, fantastic. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
You've got that whole creative world that, dragons fly, of course they do.
Of course they do, yeah, not a problem. It's funny what kids will pick out, isn't it? Something that you hadn't even thought about.
Yeah.
There'll be something that doesn't make any logic, but it doesn't matter, because that's the whole point, isn't it?
It doesn't matter.
What age range have you got in your mind when you're writing?
Yeah, so for the rhyming ones, I started about 3, sometimes a little bit earlier, but 3 to 5 or 6, and then the early reader chapters are the 5 to 8 ones.
Yeah.
Now, there's pros and cons of saying that. If somebody doesn't know anything about books, it helps to guide them. But those people that love books, they'll know what their child is reading and what sort of what will appeal, and then they can obviously pick a book accordingly. So there was a big debate as to whether you should or shouldn't categorise a book in that way, because I've got 10 and 11-year-olds reading my books and loving them. So
well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's difficult. And going back to Waterstones as well, it must be difficult for you, Sarah, when you are thinking, okay, what am I going to put where? Under what category? Because the moment that you put, this is children's fiction aged, I think it's 8 to 11, isn't there?
Especially with children's books, because you need to make sure that the context is suitable. Because they may, you may have a 5-year-old that's got reading age of 9 or 10.
Yes.
Again, you may have a book that actually is, too scary or something. But I just sort of think, I have to learn a lot of books. And then I know.
Pretty much like this show, you have to read a lot of books as well, don't you? Constantly reading. But also, the subject of YA as well is interesting now, the young adults, because we have some books here for YA which adults are now reading, which are quite graphic at times, and it's difficult to know, because you can't certify books in the way you can films or DVDs, can you? You can't do that. You've just got to guide people.
Well, we now do a young adult book group, and I'm not a teenager anymore, but I read teen fiction, which is YA.
Yeah.
But that's my main, genre that I read. But again, you'll have someone in 9 to 12 who's a very good reader that wants to read young adult books. You just need to know, because sometimes they are. So they are brilliant.
I get so excited when I see young people who are, voracious readers. I think, oh great, you are unlocking a door to a world which you will take with you forever.
absolutely.
And the more you read, the more you'll love it. And
Yeah.
you'll have all these wonderful adventures that you can go on in the mind. Nobody can take that away from you, can they? It's
Seeing
wonderful.
children get excited about books is brilliant.
It's great,
I love
isn't
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is why you do the job you do, and
Yeah.
why, Emma, you
Yeah.
do the job you do as well.
Yeah,
Bringing that world to
definitely.
life,
Yeah, that's right. And encouraging them to also, yes, use their own imagination and write. You know, there's nothing better than writing, because you can go wherever you want to go. There's no limits. Whatever you want to write about, you can write. And it's just like, oh, just amazing.
And of course, your work with young people is essential too, because what you're doing is you're unlocking something for them at a very early age, which many adults, when they decide to write later in life, find it hard to unlock, because unfortunately they have got these gremlins knocking about and all these doubts and worries which children don't have. So I would imagine that when you're unlocking that for a child and they become confident in writing, that they take that with them and they won't have that problem when they get older.
Absolutely, because I've experienced it so young. And the love of books, I think, is just so important. The way that, so the chapter books, for example, every detail is thought about. So the font, it's nice and clear. There's enough room for the finger underneath the words. There's a picture to help stimulate the imagination. So I'm all about the transition from somebody having a book read to them to being able to read on your own. And that's the unlocking, I think, for somebody as well, from a reading perspective, of suddenly you become a free reader, you can read whatever you want to read. That opens that world out. And in the same way as writing, if you've had that experience early, wow, the world's open to you.
Oh, isn't it wonderful? Yeah, no, it's just incredible. And I also think what it's quite amazing, when you look at what's out there in children's sections, you're still going back to Enid Blyton even now. I saw them all reprinted, Magic Faraway Trees in there, the Magic Wishing Chair, all that, Adventures of the Wishing Chair. You're still selling those, aren't you?
I wouldn't be lying if I sell an Enid Blyton every day.
Isn't it amazing? And yet, I mean, they are so old-fashioned. I mean, everything about them, the attitudes, the language is very old now, and yet there is still. Do you think it's partly to do with the fact that it's the parents and the grandparents who really just want to read them again? They want to read them again. It's not actually the children at all. You will sit
enjoy
there,
that, because I enjoyed it.
and you will have the Secret Seven and the Famous Five, and you'll enjoy it.
I have all my mum's original copies and I can't part with them.
Really?
Yeah, when they were like 11p.
Fantastic.
I love it when you find them in the charity shop. It's got a little inscription in the side. You think, I wonder who that was.
Oh, I can't get rid of books like that though.
No.
I can't get rid of books full stop.
Really? Most book lovers are hoarders, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure that I've actually bought books from charity shops which I've given to them, and I bought them again.
Again. So I need that.
It's just all the time. It's strange, isn't it, how it goes around?
Fantastic.
I could talk to you guys all day. It's been lovely having you on.
Thank you.
Will you come back on again soon?
Would love to, absolutely. Well, as I say, we've got the big launch on the 8th of April at Waterstones. So we've got a pirate fancy dress competition at 3 o'clock, so for children or adults. So come dressed in your best pirate outfit. And we're going to have treasure hunts and all sorts of things going on that day. And I'm actually going to be reading my books on the 4th of April at 10 o'clock at Waterstones in Chelmsford. So if you want to find out what actually happens to the Puffin pirates, you can come along there.
You can find out more details.
And they're obviously available today.
So right now, if people want to get them, today's the published day.
Today's the published day.
How exciting!
Yes, as if it was all planned.
You've always got a glow around you, but you had a double glow today. Now I know why. It's published day today.
It's published day today. So they're all available.
Available from all the usual places, including Waterstones and Chelmsford.
Absolutely.
Give us those dates again, then.
So we've got the 4th of April, 10 o'clock. Is story time at Waterstones Chelmsford, and then on the 8th, which is the Saturday, 8th of April, from 10:30 till 4, I'm going to be there in the store. We're going to do book signing. We've got the characters in the front window. We're going to have Captain Scumble and his first mate, and the whole lot are going to be there. So it's going to be great fun. And then I'm actually at Hyde Hall as well, and Brickhoff. So all the information's on my website, which is haroldhuxley.co.uk.
haroldhuxley.co.uk. You can follow Harold on Twitter as well. He's quite a he's a regular tweeter, isn't he? So that's fantastic. Absolute pleasure, Emma. Thank you so much. Great to see you. Good to see you, Sarah. Thank you very much. Give my regards to all the guys at Waterstones in Chelmsford.
Thank you.
Great to see you both today. Thank you. And as always, of course, great authors for you. Susan Wilkins.